Welcome to Golden Aging Health. Have you ever felt that eerie sensation that someone might be watching you, even in the safety of your own home? As we grow older, many of us believe our private moments are truly our own. But the reality is very different. Today, seniors across the United States are being tracked, monitored, and profiled in places we'd never suspect. Our living rooms, our phones, even in the quiet spaces we once thought were safe. Today, I'll uncover 5 everyday places where hidden eyes are watching. Some may shock you, but each is a wake-up call to protect your dignity and security in this new digital age. You need to stay with me until the end, because the final revelation will not only surprise you, it may change the way you think about privacy forever. Before we begin, I'd be grateful if you could like this video so more seniors can be warned. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do, as it helps us build a safer, wiser community. Now, let's get started. Smart TV, the invisible guest in your living room. When I was a child, the television was a simple box with knobs. It showed a handful of channels, and when you turned it off, it was truly off, silent, dark, and harmless. That old television was like a window we could choose to open or close at will. But today's smart TVs are very different. They are more like computers in disguise, connected to the internet, constantly awake and endlessly curious about us. Every program you watch, every hour you spend in front of the screen, and even the way you flip through channels becomes part of a digital record. Companies use this information to learn what makes you laugh, cry, or stay glued to your seat. It may sound innocent, but these details are often sold to advertisers, stitched together into a profile of your habits. What unsettles me most is the microphone and camera many of these TVs carry inside them. Some models can listen even when the screen is dark. Others can capture images of the very room where your family gathers. Imagine sitting with your grandchildren, sharing stories about your health, your finances, your memories of how life has changed, and without realizing it, those conversations may be stored somewhere far away, beyond your control. It feels as if an invisible guest has been invited into our living room. You cannot see them, yet they sit quietly in the corner, listening to every word, remembering every glance. And once you begin to think of it that way, home doesn't feel quite as private as it once did. But the TV is only the beginning. There is another companion we carry much closer to us, so close in fact that it sleeps in our pocket and follows us wherever we go. 2. Smartphone apps, the silent thief in your pocket. There is something almost magical about the little device we keep in our pocket. It wakes us in the morning, connects us to loved ones, gives us directions, and even entertains us when we cannot sleep. But like every magician's trick, what dazzles us on the surface hides something darker beneath. The smartphone is not just our tool, it has become a collector of secrets, and the apps we install are the quiet thieves. Think of the free apps we all use: a weather forecast, a flashlight, a game to pass the time. They seem harmless, even helpful, yet many of them ask for permissions that make no sense. Why would a weather app need to read your contacts? Why would a flashlight want access to your microphone? These requests are not accidents. They are doorways, opened by us, that allow strangers to peer into corners of our lives we never intended to share. I remember the unsettling moment when I mentioned a pair of shoes in casual conversation, only to see advertisements for those very shoes appear on my phone hours later. It felt like someone was listening, following, waiting to turn my words into profit. And for seniors, that trail of data can be more than an annoyance. It can become a roadmap for scammers, exposing where we live, when we travel, and what worries keep us awake at night. The smartphone, once just a helpful companion, can become the silent thief in your pocket, stealing not your money directly, but the very information that protects it. And if the phone is a thief we cannot see, then the streets themselves hold eyes we cannot escape, watching us wherever we go.
3. Public cameras. Eyes on every street. I remember walking with a friend to the local supermarket not long ago. We hadn't even made it through the entrance before I noticed cameras above the doors, cameras in the aisles, and cameras pointed at the parking lot. Later that week, I visited the bank to deposit a check, and there they were again, silent and unblinking. Even the quiet intersection near my church now has cameras perched on the traffic lights. It feels as though the world outside has grown a new set of eyes. Decades ago, these cameras were nothing more than grainy recordings meant to stop shoplifters or document accidents. But the technology has evolved in ways that feel unsettling. Today, cameras don't just see, they recognize. They can follow a face from one store to another, match it with a name, and trace a path across an entire city. For seniors, this means something very personal. Imagine going to the market on a Saturday morning, sitting down at a cafe for an hour, then stopping by the pharmacy for medicine. That ordinary routine is no longer yours alone. It becomes part of a timeline that someone else owns. And the most troubling part is that we don't know who holds this data, how long it's kept, or what it's used for. Privacy has never been about hiding wrongdoing. It is about protecting dignity, about deciding for ourselves what to share and with whom. Yet as we walk under this constant gaze, the choice is no longer fully ours, and if the eyes above us make the streets feel less private, what about the ears that wait quietly inside our very homes? 4. Virtual assistants. The eavesdropper in the kitchen. Voice assistants have been welcomed into millions of homes, celebrated for the way they make life more convenient. With a single request, they can play music, set reminders, answer questions, and even control appliances. On the surface, it seems like a perfect partnership between human and machine. But behind that convenience lies a truth we often overlook. To be ready at any moment, these devices are always listening. They are designed to respond when you call their name. Yet in order to do that, they must continuously monitor the sounds of your home. This means that conversations meant to stay private can sometimes be captured, stored, and analyzed. Even when you are not speaking to them, they remain awake, quietly gathering fragments of your daily life. What makes this especially concerning is the way information is processed. Companies collect patterns: when you wake, what products you ask about, the topics you search, even the rhythm of your routines. Over time, this forms a detailed profile that says more about your habits than you may ever say out loud. It is not just technology serving you, it is technology shaping you into data.
The philosopher Epictetus once reminded us, "No man is free who is not master of himself." The question for us now is whether we are still masters of our privacy, or whether the quiet ears of these machines have taken that role away. Do you feel voice assistants bring more comfort or more concern into daily life? I'd love to hear your honest reflections in the comments. And while these devices may listen from the corners of our homes, the story grows even deeper when we look at the questions we type into search engines, questions that reveal more than we realize.
5. Online searches. The diary that never disappears. Many of us treat the search bar like a private confessional. We type in our worries, our hopes, and our questions, believing they vanish into thin air once answered. But the truth is far more unsettling. Every search becomes a permanent entry in a diary that never disappears. A diary not kept by us, but by the companies that collect and sell this information. I once helped a friend look up side effects for a new medication. Within days, she was bombarded with ads for supplements, alternative treatments, and even miracle cures. Another time, after researching retirement planning, I suddenly found my inbox filled with investment offers, some from questionable sources. These moments made it clear that nothing typed into a search engine is ever truly private. Each query adds to a digital portrait of who we are. If you search for financial advice, it may reveal concerns about saving money or building wealth. If you ask about memory loss, it may flag you as vulnerable to certain products or scams. Over time, this portrait becomes incredibly detailed, charting not only what you know, but also what you fear. For seniors, this can be especially risky. Looking up health concerns, investment tips, or even cryptocurrency explained may open the door to manipulative ads designed to take advantage of uncertainty. The search box feels intimate, but it is more like speaking into a microphone that broadcasts your words to strangers across the world. What feels like a private notebook is in reality a document copied, stored, and traded without our permission. And this is perhaps the most sobering truth of all. Even our thoughts, once whispered into a machine, may never fully belong to us again.
As we've seen together, privacy in today's world is not what it used to be. The familiar objects and spaces of our lives, our living rooms, our pockets, the streets we walk, the kitchens where we share meals, and even the search boxes where we whisper our questions, have become places where eyes and ears may be watching. For many seniors, this revelation feels unsettling, perhaps even frightening. But knowledge, as always, is the first step toward protection. I have lived long enough to remember when a locked door and a drawn curtain were enough to guard one's private life. Those lessons from history remind me how much life has changed and how our priorities must adapt. Today, the locks and curtains we need are digital. They are found in our settings, in our choices of which apps to trust, in the care we take before giving permission, and in the awareness that not every piece of technology deserves a place in our most intimate spaces. Protecting privacy is not about paranoia, it is about dignity. It is about ensuring that our stories, our financial advice, our family conversations, and our health questions remain ours to share or to keep. Seneca once said, "No man is more unhappy than he who never faces adversity, for he is not permitted to prove himself." Perhaps this new challenge of hidden surveillance is our adversity, one that gives us the chance to prove wisdom from experience and to build a better future even in the digital age. So let us take simple steps. Adjust privacy settings, cover cameras when not in use, question unnecessary apps, and use safer tools for searching. These may seem like small acts, but together they become a shield, a way to reclaim control over the lives we've worked so hard to build. If this conversation has been meaningful to you, I invite you to like this video so more older adults can learn to protect themselves, and subscribe to Golden Aging Health for more guidance on living a meaningful life with security and peace of mind. Until next time, take care of your spirit, and remember, your privacy is worth protecting.